You know it's super fly when Day Bar is opened. Hip-hop review, news, plus breaking new artists, pop culture, current events with an urban view of it. This is all things hip-hop, delivered raw, unpolitically correct, the fans' perspective, putting all artists in check. Dope content, current hot by remarkable men. Our thoughts, clearly. Welcome to Audio Theory.
Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well as the like button. And if you'd like to jump ahead to today's topics, check the description box as well if you're on YouTube. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
Dude, feeling amazing. Dude, the most fucking refreshed I felt all year, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. Like,
nice.
I had the most relaxing 4-day break. I had family come over again, so I was like, in my pit, I was like, bro, this is gonna ruin everything I had going on. But it turned out to be fucking phenomenal. Shout out to my sister and brother who came through. It was my one of my niece's birthday. My sister pretty much took, like, I was hosting, but she took over, bro. Like, God bless her soul. Like, dude, she just like became like the mom of the group. And I was like, oh, I can just fucking relax and do nothing. I'm all for it. And bro, she's so sweet, bro. Like, I love my sister to death, dude. We all like kind of got drunk and tipsy Saturday night. So I went to bed like exactly at midnight because I was like, bro, I am done. And bro, I guess she stayed up cleaning. Cause bro, I assume when they leave Sunday, I would have to go down, clean, and then relax. Bro, I got down Sunday morning. The entire downstairs is fucking polished. I'm like, Chanel, did you clean? She's like, of course. I was like, oh, of course, yeah, of course she did. Like, bro, it was amazing, bro. That I just did nothing Sunday and Monday. Like, I worked out, couch. Like, bro, I feel so rejuvenated, bro. Like, today was, I guess, a Tuesday at work, but a Monday, and I was like on it. I was like, bro, what are we doing today? Let's go. Let's make shit happen. So, yeah, man, felt really good just to fucking. Again, we're super blessed to even have the option to just like on Memorial Day. Like, obviously, thank God for our veterans who passed, but just even say like, hey, I don't work today, I have a job, but I can just do nothing. Like, that's a blessing in itself. So
for sure,
yeah, man, very grateful for the long weekend. How about you, man?
It was dope. Hosted a couple friends that came down to visit from up north, so they drove down. They slept in our second bedroom, which is our office technically. So it was nice. This was the first time, well, I guess second time that people came down to visit, and we had like ample space. It was still a little I don't know, cluttered in a way and kind of claustrophobic, but it was so dope to host people. And we just like biked through San Francisco. We got
dude, some of your shots on your Instagram story were fire. Like the colors,
yeah,
I'm like, is this a fucking filter? And I'm like, I think it's like natural.
Well, I did add a little saturation, but I think in real life, when you're seeing things, the colors are more vibrant than just what the standard picture captures. So I increased it a little bit to hopefully capture like what it actually looked like, but nonetheless, it was super dope. It was one of the few times where I guess realized that I'm living in a brand new city. But up until this point, it kind of felt like I was just on a long ass vacation. But we went to this park called Chrissy Field, I want to say. Windy as fuck, but it was the beach, and you could see the Golden Gate Bridge across the way.
Nice.
And everyone was just jamming out, listening.
Is that
to
like
music,
the park, like right before, like if you walk down a little bit, like you'll see like the full houses and stuff like that, or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But it's not too far from the Golden Gate Bridge. So that was kind of like the finale. We took our friends to, drank a lot. So Monday, like I slept 12 hours.
Nice.
I was exhausted. But it's crazy how like much extra time you feel like you have from a 3-day weekend. I wish that was permanent, because you can do so much in that amount of time.
Bro, I saw a great meme where it's like something about like what's one of the things we should change, and it's like expecting people to work 5 days and recover in 2. You know what I mean? Like, so right. Like I feel like working 4.5 and getting 2.5 off could be such a better balance, bro. For
sure. Yeah, you can go on so many trips, do so many things. You get one like full day of recovery. Yeah, shameless like recovery too. Because like I feel bad sleeping in on a Saturday, because I'm like, that's the one day where I don't have work the next day.
Right. And then you have errands.
Sunday,
like if you have shit to do, like, and if you have like, I have like cousins who live like not too far from me, and like I'm so happy. They went to the Bahamas this weekend for Memorial Day. Like, bro, like their normal weekend is just wake up at Saturday and they're at soccer practice all day. And they both have jobs Monday through Friday. So it means Saturday, it's more work. And then Sunday, you try to have a moment for yourself, but then you're preparing for the week. I'm just like, bro, you're doing this for the next like 10 years. Like,
yeah,
that sounds awful, bro.
I know. That's why I'm like terrified of having kids and question that all the time. Because sometimes I'm just like, shit, I don't have time for myself. I feel like, let alone, you know, 2 little kids or 1 little kid running.
Bro, I was literally, I do no exaggeration, swear on everything. Like I was thinking about that today. Cause like today I've been up since 8 o'clock for work. Then the moment work finished, I went to work out with my boy. The moment I got home, I had a quick bite to eat. And then I hopped on to do this. I'm not going to be done with my day till 10:30 at night. So, you know, mix in a wife and 2 kids and a cat or some shit. Like, yo, these people aren't going to see me most days. You know what I mean? That's wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sometimes we need to like just sit back and, I mean, again, like our parents, like I know we'll make it work. But it's almost like, yo, how the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how the fuck are we going to intertwine that into like the shit we already have going on? And then, you know, hopefully the shit we keep trying to achieve over the next, you know, couple of years or years to come.
For sure. Yeah. You're definitely going to have to sacrifice time, which probably means, you know, meeting up with people, going to the bar and stuff. But it is what it is, I guess, for as long as your kids aren't some badass hoodlums that you got to bail out of jail every other week.
Yeah, right.
It seems like it's worth it.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, it's so funny. It's like, I literally was thinking about that like around like 6. I'm like, damn, bro, like I have like 15 minutes to myself today. You know what I mean? Like that's all I have.
Yeah. For real.
But it's all, yeah, because even when I got off of work, I had like half an hour before I had to get in the car. So I used that time to do like our marketing thing for the podcast. So I'm like, bro, like I don't have any fucking time today. But
yeah.
Again, it's a blessing kind of like to the episode we listened to with like Big Sean and Jay Shetty. Like I'm lucky to be able to do this as opposed to, you know, we could both be unemployed doing nothing and praying to God someone needed us so we could feel busy. So
right.
It all works out. But quick, I rocked this shirt today because today is the beginning of Pride Month. I didn't know that. So
nice.
Shout out to the LGBT community that listens to this podcast.
Is that like an actual Pride shirt? Not to cut you off,
it's okay. Sponsored by Nike has this line called Be True, and like they have a bunch of merch that has like the Nike logo, and instead of the top part saying Nike has like the flag. Dope. And it was actually raining a lot this whole day, and I saw like so many rainbows in the sky. I was like, oh, that's pretty dope that's happening today. So yep, shout out to them. But yeah, man, let's get to the fucking podcast. I feel like a lot of things went down. I know I saved this for last in our rundown, but we did have to get into it first because it kind of goes back to like the reason why I hate PC culture, and I feel like everyone on either side of whatever stance it is just so ready to point out when the other person fucks up. So I guess on Thursday or Friday afternoon, Vice President Kamala Harris tweeted, "Enjoy your long weekend," to like the world. And then within like an hour, it was like the #1 trending topic in the universe, because like, God forbid you say, enjoy your long weekend and not, you know, say happy Memorial Day, salute to all the veterans who passed away, thank you for your ultimate sacrifice, you know, which I'm pretty sure she said in either previous or other tweets right after that. I think she laid a wreath at like the grave of, you know, Senator John McCain over the weekend. But bro, like the internet lost their fucking minds. Like I have friends who legit were like posting the most aggressive shit, like posting pictures of people like at like veterans' graves and saying, this is why we have a long weekend. And I'm just like, bro, we can't say anything now, bro. We can't just like, you know what she meant, dude. She said, enjoy your fucking weekend. Like, just like, we don't have to get into this shit every fucking time.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. It's really outrage culture, and it's ridiculous. But a lot of people spend their time looking for something to get pissed off at. And unfortunately, if you're a public figure like that, people are looking for any in to like find a way to say, look, see, she doesn't care about the troops, or look, this person doesn't care about gay people, or whatever it is that you, the group that you either identify with or want to support. And it's just, I just don't understand how we got to this point. And I actually, the first time cancel culture hit me personally is the other day I found out my fraternity's under fire because their letters, the acronym's KKK. And it's been like this.
Kappa Kappa or
Kappa Kappa Kappa. And we actually had these letters before the Ku Klux Klan. We had a fucking lawsuit with them in like 1890 or some shit.
Oh wow, okay.
And it got to the point like even Martin Luther King came to the fraternity and said this was the best KKK meeting I've ever been to. Obviously a joke. But of course, out of the blue, this was never an issue before. Yeah, like it's kind of funny, ha ha ha. But now motherfuckers are tweeting about it, like egging the house, refusing to join the fraternity because they're afraid to put it on their resume. So like, it's just unfortunate that we've gotten to a point where like context is no longer really important. It's just like,
at all.
You're at Kappa Kappa Kappa, you must lynch black people for fun on the weekends. And it's just wild that we've gotten to this point.
Damn, bro, that's wild. And Kappa 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 isn't even an all black fraternity, right?
It's not, but ironically, it was the most diverse fraternity, which is why I joined. It was the most welcoming, or at least you felt that because it was black people, Hispanic, Indian, like everyone. And now we can't really, like, if we come out and were to say some shit like that, you know, people just wouldn't be willing to listen. It's like saying, I'm not racist, you know, like I have a black uncle or some shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's wild. And now we have to consider whether or not we're going to change our name just so people don't feel,
just because something's happening in 2021 and you guys have been around since like the late 1800s probably, right? I mean, stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Man, it's sad, bro. It's sad. Yeah, but like, dude, did you like see other people? Like, did you see any of the outrage on your own feeds for the long weekend thing? Because I was like, I had to Google it, bro, because I just saw like a trend on everyone's like social media stories. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And then I'm like, bro, like really? Like, I don't know, man. It just seemed like sad, bro. Like that's what we're doing right now. Like, yo, the weather's getting nice, COVID's getting low. Like, just go outside and fucking enjoy yourselves, bro. Like, literally follow what the fuck she said in that tweet where enjoy your long weekend, bro. It is a long weekend. Like, we can't deny that. You know what I mean? Like what the, like, come on.
Yeah. It's like, if she tweets on Christmas, I hope everyone got presents today. Then all of a sudden, this is about Jesus, the Christ, or Christ and the birth of him and all this other shit. And just like, yo, can we just chill out for a moment and not take everything so serious?
Everything's so literal, bro. And it's like, I think LeBron or Jay-Z, and I'm going to talk about the shop in a second, that episode, which is dope. Like, dude, if you have I get the same thing happened to Trump, right? Trump will say anything and the left was quick to say, racist this, racist that, racist this. And like, even that, I think we've been consistent with on this podcast is like, yo, like, chill. You know what I mean? But like, yo, if everything is going to be diagnosed and fucking microanalyzed, like, yo, you can find fault with everything everyone says. You know what I mean? Like, bro, we do this podcast for an hour a week, every fucking week for the last 74 weeks. There's definitely been times we fucking fucked up on interviews, fucked up on this, you know what I mean? Like, it just is what it is. So imagine someone who's literally being like, is tweeting every single day for some kind of cause or some kind of update. Yo, dude, she's not gonna get it right every time, but like, I always go back to like, even like with girlfriends I've had in the past and now, or family members or friends, like, bro, like, judge me for my intent. You know what I mean? Like, dude, my intent here was simply to wish the people of America enjoy your fucking selves, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the weather's nice, like, go and fucking enjoy yourselves. Wow. And like, to think you're gonna get backlash over the most innocent fucking tweet, like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, people are miserable, and I'm sure a lot of the people that were outraged weren't even fucking veterans who were out in the field, you know, fighting for America or anything. It's just, you know, maybe conservative people that just absolutely hate Biden and Kamala for whatever reason, and they're just looking for something to piss them off. Like, oh, right. Typical Kamala, like, she never cared about the troops anyways.
Right.
She said long weekend.
Yeah, like that. Like, dude, that's such a reach, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, such a reach. I'm like, come on, man. You can't just see that and like keep it fucking moving. Like, or just say, huh, okay, but keep it fucking moving. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, it was just wild that for, I think around 24 hours, like that was the #1 thing trending on Twitter. I'm like, bro, what? Like, yo, this must have been a very slow week because, yo, there's no way this should have been news at all. Dude.
Yeah, no, that's some bullshit. People are just bored. We need fucking aliens tomorrow, so we have. Even that the UFO shit's apparently
no one cares.
Us enough.
No one cares, bro. Unless like a fucking UFO like pokes fucking Trump in the eye. I don't think anyone gives a fuck about this shit at all, dude. That's so funny. Yeah, dude. But yeah, this PC culture shit, this cancel culture shit, like again, and everyone just being so divided, bro. Like it's like again, I know this shit has always been like that, but I guess with the president's social media and platforms like this, like it's heightened to like a new level. But like, yo, in that, I was on my couch, was reading it. I'm like, bro, like I was disappointed, like in the human race. I'm like, bro, come on, bro. Like, everything's an issue, bro. Everything has to be an issue. Like, it's not one. Like, I shit for Trump, right? I think we were consistent with him as well. But like when he said like things like, when I'm like the Black Lives Matter movement, if they start looting, we start shooting. I'm like, all right, bro, that's fucking aggressive intent, bro. Like, yeah. I can see why people get offended by that. This, bro, like, just have a good time. You know, like that's like, come on, man.
Right. Yeah. It's just people being tribal and wanting to be heard, I guess. But it's only gonna hurt everyone in the long run, because
in the long run, bro, because you're not gonna be able to say anything. Yeah, you're not gonna say shit. Yeah, and like you can. What I hope it doesn't happen where people stop just being kind because they're going to be judged by like, oh, but why did you do that? You know what I mean? Like, oh, why did you have to like say that? Or why did you, you know, feel the need to like post that you sent money to this family in need? Or, you know what I mean? Like, bro, like even I sometimes like, I've been like, I remember like when I was like at a previous job and I'd be nice to a female colleague. Like I've been called into office like, oh, you're being a little bit too flirty. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like, and I said hello.
Like does she know what flirty is? Like, I sent a dick pic to this other chick.
Yo, like, dog, like, for real, like, yo, like, yeah. So that's a sad thing, bro. I hope this doesn't really ruin it for everyone. Where like, you know, comedians don't want to be funny anymore because like I'm not trying to get canceled. So it is what it is. But yeah, I feel like that was like the most political thing we're gonna get into the show today. But kind of sad that like again, it was a beautiful weekend for a lot of people. Again, yes, dude, rest in peace to all the people who sacrificed their lives for us to even have these freedoms. But I really don't think the stuff that Kamala tweeted and what the intent was anywhere near the outrage we saw. So if you were outraged by that, we have nothing to say to you, but you're fucking nuts. I guess another political thing, not political, but I guess like a dope thing to see, and it's kind of music related. Corday is dating Naomi Osaka, the fucking GOAT of a tennis player. Dude, she was the highest paid women's athlete last year, by the way. Like I didn't even know.
I didn't know that. That's incredible. Yo, I guess because she's so young.
So young, bro. Like, dude,
I was like, oh, she's
like
just
21 or 22, like if that. So making bread. She was at the French Open. I guess right before the French Open, she kind of pushed back on some media stuff. She didn't want to answer too many questions. And then she got some like crazy publicity for it. And then decided, you know what, I'm just going to withdraw from this. And, you know, she cited mental health issues. Like, hey, I want to really focus on my mental health. Kind of like shit we've said, right? Like we feel fucking drained. I've been drowning at work. I needed these 4 days, these past long weekend to just recover, right? So your thoughts on her doing on that level, bro? Because she probably gave up a few $1 million in prize money alone. Obviously tennis, similar to like basketball. It's all, or maybe more golf, but it's all about championships, right? Like how many championships do you have, right? Dude, she's literally the best female tennis player in the world. She probably would have won this event. So that would have been another championship to her resume. And she said, I'm good. I just need to focus on me. So your reaction to that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel a bit of sadness for her just because it sucks to kind of derail whatever positive momentum you have, regardless of what you're doing. And I'm not trying to put myself on her level, but it does feel like when I was in the middle of my job, and by no means was like a bad employee, but I just quit because I couldn't handle it mentally. And I feel like people at that level who are breaking records and making millions and doing all this extra shit, it must be incredibly harder for someone like that to make a decision, because I can just get another job or whatever in my industry, whereas someone like that, technically speaking, could hurt their legacy or whatever by doing something like this. So I commend her for doing that, because I think a lot of people push themselves too hard because they don't want to appear weak or like something like they're crazy or something's wrong. So hopefully it kind of bleeds into other industries, and maybe more rappers will say, you know what, I'm not going to do this tour because like my body's giving out and I haven't had time to hang out with my daughter or whatever.
Right.
So I hope other celebrities learn from it more than just regular people, because I know they have a ton of pressure, but you don't really see it because they're making millions and having fun and shit on Instagram. But
we assume that their life is perfect, and it's like, they have worse. Well, no one is different than others, like worse, but they have a whole bunch of other shit being like going on. I think like, I don't know this girl's name. She's American Idol, Madison something. She's a white girl with curly hair.
Madison Beer?
No. That's that's like a stripper, right? As a porn star or something?
No, I don't know nowadays. Nowadays, I literally will go on Instagram, come across some girl's profile, and she has like a song, and then I search her on the internet, and she's like sucking a dick. So I'm like,
this is not that.
Industries are all just one. They're just one big ass industry.
Her name is Madison Watkins. Okay.
Never heard of her.
Yo.
That's no shade to her.
Cutie.
I just literally
cutie as fuck. She did like some like TikTok that went viral that I saw, but apparently she's like just won American Idol or was a high contestant, has a very successful music career apparently. I haven't heard one song, but she's been posting like her life on Instagram up until yesterday was normal as fuck, right? And then she just posted a full explanation that like, hey guys, I don't feel comfortable constantly posting happy stuff because I need to share that a week ago I was held like gunpoint in my car, right? So like, people like have real life shit going on, but just feel the need to make it feel like they're living their best lives on social media, and that comes with its own fucking pressures, right? Yeah. But kind of going back to, and obviously we're not going to name your former employee, but do you think you would have stayed if you would have felt like, if I go to my employer with these issues I have, like if I needed a mental health week, just to say, man, I need a fucking week of just like, I need a break, bro. Do you think you would have gotten support, or would have been looked at like, well, maybe Blair's not really cut out for this job?
Well, I actually already brought that up to them before quitting. I was like, I'm going through these issues, far too stressful. I've given it, several weeks, a couple months even. And I was like, I just can't handle it. Like, I need time off. And their only solution was like, well, we have unlimited PTO technically. So take, I recommend that you take, a week off or several days off. And I went to, Utah. Phenomenal week. Got to disconnect, but then when I came back, it was like I fucking never took a vacation. It was back to square one.
Got it.
So I would have had to get a doctor's note and have a more extended time off if I wanted.
So it's almost like the better solution is like, let's figure out ways to make the job not feel like this suffocating, as opposed to like just telling me to leave, but like I'm gonna come back and feel the same way, kind of, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Got it. So yeah, I mean, dude, for this, I commend her, bro, because there seems like there could be a lot of consequence for her own career by pulling this move. But I commend her, bro, because you're giving up millions. And I get, she's the highest paid female athlete, so I'm sure she made upwards of like $30 million last year. So people say, what are millions on top of, dude, that's still like at least $2 million. She's saying, I don't fucking need it that bad. You know what I mean? That's, anyone's turning down that kind of money, you got to fucking at least check it out, like what's going on. And dude, you're 22 years old. You're representing Asian culture. You're representing like African-American girls, Haitian girls. You're young. You're like, bro, like if anyone needs a mental break, it probably is someone like that. So dude, I just commend her, bro, because again, like same, like sometimes I'm afraid to speak up. Like, bro, I think I mentioned last week, I've been drowning at fucking work, bro, like drowning. And like, sometimes I'm afraid to speak up because I literally, like, I'm in like promote. I don't want that to be used against me. Like, well, maybe he's just not ready and this really is where he should be for a while, because it's only going to be more stressful at the next position. It's like, well, dude, why don't you fucking like just try to make this work for everyone? So like, I don't feel like blowing my fucking brains out, and I also want to, you know, get promoted and, you know, move my career forward. So yeah, bro, like I just commend her, bro, because again, she could have got another Grand Slam, which is massive in that industry. You're trying to chase, you know, Serena Williams as, you know, being one of the best athletes in that sport of all time. So to have, I mean, quote unquote, the balls to, you know, step up and be like, you know what? It's not that important to me. I gotta commend that, bro. And I wonder if that's kind of what what Kendrick does, bro. Like, you know, like, or some of these other rappers that we just like see disappear for years at a time. Like, clearly that's what Big Sean was doing, right? He's like, bro, like, I can't handle this shit. And I remember like seeing episodes like Everyday Struggle. We were like kind of like, you know, crack on them. But it's kind of like, dude, as you get older and you start seeing like more and more being put on your own shoulders, and then you heighten that by like a gazillion for these like celebrities now in this day and age, like it kind of makes sense why people just fucking run away from this, because it seems like it's fucking awful.
And it's tough too, like as a fan, because just thinking about people like, I don't know, let's say The Weeknd or Bryson Tiller or Kendrick, you're craving some sort of update of like, you know, what's going on, when's the next song,
like we're entitled to it, like we're
entitled to it.
You know what I mean?
Because we see them as just entertainment. We don't really know them as human beings, so we don't think of them that way. But I totally get it. And even myself, like I definitely like providing updates on what's going on, but I can't imagine just over and over getting on live and posting selfies at Starbucks and with your new car you got and promoting your baby to fucking 50 million people or whatever it is. Like, it must be so daunting and exhausting to have to do. And I feel like if you were to do that, the only like stress leaving thing might be to just not look at the comments or something. Because I'm sure that adds fuel to the fire.
Yeah, which is why, like, even if you think back to like 2 years ago when like, or 3 now, when Pusha, you know, brought up that, you know, the whole drama of like Drake having a kid and not telling anyone. Bro, like, why should you? Like, even now, we're like, yo, why should you tell anyone? You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck are you, the world, to know I have a child? Like, what the fuck does that matter, right? So, yeah, man, like, I don't know. We may sound like the old heads, but I just feel like I commend someone who's 21, 22 to take that stand, because we're going to get into it later. It just feels like when you're in your 20s, things are going that fast. So it's almost like helpful when you have someone in your corner that tells you, bro, just slow down. You know what I mean? Look around, breathe. Are you happy right now? Are you okay? And clearly she wasn't, bro. So shout out to her. And this may be like, as far as like the pressure that society puts on us to constantly be, you know, or society puts on like these artists or, you know, athletes to, you know, always be the best, right? Like, you can't have a day off. You can't have a bad song. You can't have a bad record. Like, you have to be on. I know we wanted to talk about the first episode of season 4 of The Shop. Great fucking episode. It had, obviously always has LeBron James and LeBron James, like, business partners. But this one had Jay-Z and Bad Bunny, right? Like, dude, Jay-Z's the fucking goat of human beings. And Bad Bunny is one of the most, you know, inspirational, highest performing artists of the past like 3 or 4 years. This year being one of those, right? So even if Bad Bunny, who it seems like this motherfucker cannot put out a bad song, right? Like, you don't even speak Spanish and you know multiple Bad Bunny songs, right? So that's like the level this motherfucker is at. Even he says like, bro, this pressure feels unfair. Like, I even feel like I don't want to do this at times. That, dude, this motherfucker took 3 months off to go wrestle because he wanted a fucking break. Like, he was willing to put his body through absolute fucking pain to like, yo, I just need a break of the fucking, like, oh my God, where's the next fucking hit? So it's wild for like these people who we think just got it. Like, bro, even they at that level are like, dude, like, come on, man. Like, let me just make a mistake and like figure it out.
Yeah, I definitely, that part resonated with me. I think it was LeBron who was talking about making mistakes. And I really liked the episode because it humanized everyone. I didn't feel like I was listening to goats necessarily. It almost felt like you were, like, you as in the listener was in the room
Yeah.
And these dudes were just, you know, casually talking about like some of the shit they deal with. Like, I mean, like you're in a barber shop and just shooting the shit with 5 dudes and 1 woman. And it was really dope just for them to kind of all like humble themselves and talk about the experiences when their ego might not have been as high as we think it always is, and Bad Bunny admitting that he's shy, but obviously this is his passion and he does it as best as he can. But when you hear the records, you're like, oh, this dude just effortlessly spits out hits, but he might be in the studio like, fuck, like I hope this record hits, or like whatever the case.
Losing his mind every verse. And it's just like, well, keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, it was a super dope episode, and I think this is like almost like a recurring theme we kind of see in all these different interviews, like the Jay Shetty ones and stuff. Is one like the greats. Yeah, they're confident, but they still face pressures and stress out, and are constantly competing with themselves and everyone else. So just reminding yourself that your doubt, I guess, at times and things like that is natural, even if you've accomplished, you know, getting to 20 Grammys or whatever the case is.
100%, dude. And then I guess one part that I wanted to touch on, just because, again, I think I hinted at this at previous episode, but I also want to get your perspective because you're 31 now, right?
Yep.
Right. So both are at 30s, 31, 32. Jay-Z, they asked him a question because I guess he wrote, the original Space Jam soundtrack back in like the mid 90s or whatever it was. He wrote a song for whoever, you know, performed it as Bugs Bunny. And he only was like 26 or 27 at the time, right? And he said, man, yeah, like in hindsight, it was a great fucking moment. But I was so busy just doing everything. Like I'd even take a moment to like really take it in. And then that reminded me of something like, bro, like even before my mom passing, which obviously made me really, you know, every fucking move I make, I'm just like, you know, what's the legacy going to be behind this, right? But I think ever since I turned 30, I've been very like, or maybe 29, I've been like, yo, why am I making this move? And then whatever I'm doing, I try to be as present as possible. Just because, again, like, you know, I don't know, like there's been too many moments where I think life just has flown me by, right? So I go back to my 20s, but I feel like the moment I graduated college at 22 to like 28, 29, bro, like I know I did extremely dope shit. I know I had moments of extreme sadness. I know I've had moments of just like blah, but like the majority of it, bro, is a fucking blur. And I wonder, like, yo, I kind of got that same thing from even Jay-Z, who like in his 20s was still making millions. He just felt like he was going so fast. Like he'd even have moments like taking like, yo, I'm fucking writing a song for Bugs Bunny on this fucking massive soundtrack. So I wonder, like, have you also felt that? Because I know I have, and I'm starting to think like I need to start writing down these fucking memories. Because I know, like, I don't want to get dismissive of my 20s because a lot of really important things happened that were extremely amazing, and also, even if they weren't amazing, made me a better person today. So I want to just try to be better by just jotting down these fucking memories, because I don't want to talk to my kids 30 years from now. I'm like, yeah, my 20s were trash. Like, don't worry about it, because again, they weren't. And obviously I want to give them advice, like, yo, just try to slow down if you can, so you can take it all in and not even think it was a blur. But I wanted to see if you had a similar experience when you think back to like your college years and then your post-college years.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it was necessarily a blur. I feel like I definitely took advantage of them as best I could. Obviously, I wasn't like financially where I'm at now when I was like 22 or whatever. I actually started trying to like every month I have like an email thread for myself, and I try to keep track of like every little milestone or thing I've done, like traveled here, like got promoted this date or whatever, so I can
nice
look back on it. It doesn't have like all the other cool shit that might not be an event, but I'm hoping that'll help it be less of a blur, because at one point in time, like maybe 3-4 years after college, I could pinpoint exactly like, oh, like we did this the month before I got promoted, or I traveled here. And now the shit is like, I don't know, within the past decade I did it, like sometime in between then.
Yeah.
So now it's getting there. But what was I gonna say? college, I remember pretty well, especially with the whole fraternity thing. Like, it reminded me of a lot of the fun shit I did.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I necessarily have any regrets, but I do wish I had like experimented with more things, like even like YouTube. Like sometimes I'm like, damn, if we started this shit like 6 years ago, where would I be now? But then again, I hadn't met you at that point, so some of those things I'm like, okay, well, they happen for a reason, like
right,
stuff like that.
Yeah, totally agree. No, I definitely believe that everything happens for a reason. I have no regrets. I just sometimes I would wish that I would have been more present. Like, it just seemed
I see.
Kind of like, but like to Jay-Z's like Space Jam thing. Like, yeah, he just did it and moved on with his life. Like, maybe for a second he's like, oh, this is crazy, but then he's like, I have another job to do, another concert to do tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like I was doing a lot of fucking really dope shit between like 20 to 28, and then I was just like, yeah, just move on to like the next thing, like it was nothing. Whereas like I wish like I pinched myself, like when I was working my previous job, I'm like, bro, you're 26 and like an acting sales director for like a multi-million-dollar company. Like, that's not normal. Like, be proud of yourself. Or, bro, you're fucking 25 sitting at courtside with a fucking badass bitch like who like loves you. Like, you know what I mean? Like shit like that. Where like you're not like, yeah, I went to the Knicks game and it was fine and we lost. You know what I mean? Like, it's not right. Bro, like these are fucking expensive ass seats and you have no business being here, but you've done enough at this early age to actually like succeed. Like, be proud of yourself. So like stuff like that, or traveling on my own, or just like, I did it. But we're like, I don't know. I just feel like 20s, like, even though like we're more in the rat race now, I feel like in my 20s, everything was so fucking fast, bro. That like, I wish I took moments to just like a step back, like, yo, this is fucking pretty dope, or this is not dope, and I need to do things to change this. And then in making those changes, sitting back is like, yo, wow, I'm really fucking making these changes now, and shit's working out, right? I feel like I was just so like, if it's good, keep it moving. If it's bad, change it, but keep it moving. I wish I was more like today. Like, everything I do today, bro, is so like, wow, dude. Like, even like Memorial Day weekend, like I was like, dude, like I'm really here with a fucking fridge full of food, a dope ass house on a fucking massive projector, just enjoying my fucking Monday. Like, dude, like what is better than this? You know what I mean? Like, nothing else mattered. I don't give a fuck who else is doing what. That's not my business. Like, I don't care who has more money than me. Like, none of that shit matters. Like, I was just so content. And I think in my 20s, I was just like so like eager to fucking like, I don't know, catch up or keep up with other people, that I wasn't even thinking about like all this cool shit that was happening in my life at the time.
Right. And I think Coachella's another good example of like being present. Granted, like everything kind of just fucking perfectly worked out. So I think that added to the element of surprise or whatever, of like, oh shit, everything's so amazing. But I did like appreciate like every hour of that trip, like everything from the bus ride over to get to the pizza, to the lemonade drink, like, and now when I look back on it, it wasn't just like some random ass concert. It was or festival. It was an enjoyable experience from like start to finish.
100%. And like, that's why like, and there's so many more of those moments, right? Like that, I think we're coming now to like appreciate. But yeah, I was wondering if you felt the same way, because when Jay-Z said that, I was like, oh, dude, like, all right, cool. A billionaire also felt the same way. So like, I wasn't fucking some loser who just had like the worst 20s of his life because he was just fucking, being a drunk idiot. So I was like, all right, cool, man. Like, if other people feel this way, I wanted to see, if you kind of felt the same.
For sure.
Awesome, bro. All right, let's get some fucking music before we get out of here. Your thoughts, if you got a chance to skim through it at all, on the Exodus album by DMX. Great production from Swiss Beats. He kind of did the majority of it. So yeah, your thoughts on the run through. It's only like 45 minutes long. You can tell that most of the songs though were done when he was alive. So I appreciate that a lot. Because sometimes, these things are like kind of forced, and it's like, well, now he's dead, so let's give him respect. So, because I remember even on the Drink Champs interview, he mentioned most of these features already being done. So that was cool. Yeah, your thoughts on the album itself?
Yeah, I had a chance to listen to it in its entirety today. Definitely agree. Swiss Beats was like the perfect producer for this project.
It had to be.
It just felt so natural. Honestly, I think overall for me, it wasn't like as inspiring as I had hoped. I think a lot of the features kind of overshadowed DMX as well. And in a weird way, in my mind, I was like, oh, maybe it's rushed because, you know, he passed in the timing. But at the same time, like you said, it was created before he passed. So I thought that was kind of weird. Why, like, it wasn't as impactful as I wish it had sound. And I know he passed. So part of me like really wanted to love it and be like, this is the best thing in the past 5 years or whatever. But for me, it was just kind of like a nice going away gift, but it wasn't anything that like blew my mind, like, oh shit, and reminded me that like he was one of the legends. It was just like a good project and like a sad reminder he's not here, but it wasn't some like classic album for me, so to speak.
Yeah, dude, totally agree. I mean, remember he's a 50-year-old rapper that, I mean, again, like, I mean, unless it's like Jay-Z and Nas, which again, kudos to them for both being on this album on Bath Salts. You know, like not everyone, once you get past 40, really has anything that's that fucking groundbreaking, right? That's why sometimes these rappers go into other things in their life, like business ventures or, you know, you know, things to give back to the community. So maybe that triggers something and they come back with another great album. Like kind of like, I feel like Nas is at least Jay-Z's been a GOAT in music forever. I think Nas kind of went away and then just came back with fucking heat because he just had different perspective now of like really mastering like his business acumen, and that's coming through in some amazing way these past like 4 or 5 years, right? So I feel like unfortunately I don't think DMX is able to like do that because he's just battling his other demons, right? Like his any time away from music, it seems from the outside that it was used to try to like really try to grasp like the shit he was dealing with. I thought it was an enjoyable album, right? Like, yeah, I don't, same as you, like, I'm not gonna shit on this album by any means. You can still, he's a very talented rapper and has phenomenal production. But yeah, it wasn't groundbreaking. It wasn't like, it didn't leave me saying, man, this is the last X album we're ever gonna get. It left me saying, you know, man, like, dude, like, good for him. This is a good body of work. And I think as a whole, we have enough DMX stuff that we can tell our, you know, our kids and grandkids, like, yo, they were in the 90s through like the early 2000s. This guy was a fucking phenomenal rapper. Listen to these first 3 albums, like, bro, this guy was a fucking GOAT. But this was a nice farewell, and he was able to have like moments, right? Like the song "Letter to My Son," like that one really fucked me up a little bit, right? Because that one is him telling his son, like, yo, his firstborn son, like, yo, stop acting like a bitch, essentially, right? Stop acting childish. And then the hook is saying, like, Usher singing the hook, like, there's always time to fix this stuff. And then, like, there's not, though. You know what I mean? Like, that one really hit me hard because, like, the message is phenomenal. Like, there isn't always time. You know what I mean? And that's, you have to sometimes be okay with that, right? Like, I mentioned before on the podcast and to you offline, like, I'm grateful that me and my mom had issues that got resolved, thankfully, before she passed. Because I don't know how the fuck I'd be, you know, this coherent and aware of life if that didn't happen. So I just pray that, you know, him and his son were able to resolve whatever things they had, because yes, the goal is, we have time. You know, I'm only 50, you're only 25 or whatever. We got plenty of years to figure this shit out. Bro, we don't know when that day is coming. So that song hit me hard because there was like a great message behind it. And then, bro, the one with Freddie Gibbs and Benny the Butcher, Benny the Butcher had a fucking line that said, I'm sunning all these niggas and I don't even know my own father, like something to that effect. I was like, bro, what the fuck? So like, that was a dope moment in itself. Like just the fact that it was on this album that he dropped like a very clever fucking line.
For sure. Yeah, 100% agree. I mean, I'm sure at some point we'll probably get more body songs out of the catalog, since I feel like all these rappers have a ton of unreleased random verses lying around.
Like they say, like, for, I mean, even Dub Work, who hasn't been around that long yet, you know, for like, I think he said he almost like 100 songs for Up by 20. So like, you know, like there's plenty of stuff that didn't make it that you know, hopefully makes the next project. But I mean, just shout out to him, shout out to his family. Like, if this goes towards the estate, you know, and obviously I'm sure his hardcore fans loved every second of it. What I will say that I did appreciate, it sounded like a modern album. It didn't sound like some like old rapper trying to keep up with new school shit, because all the productions were very new school. but he didn't seem overwhelmed by that. Like, oh, I have to go a certain level to keep up with this Swiss Beats beat. Like it sounded normal. So I appreciate, like, it didn't feel forced. I kind of appreciate that. Exactly.
Yeah, same. I love that beat on the Lil Wayne song.
Oh, dude, that's fucking dude, yeah. For sure. That's the, like, I was texting my boy, like, after the first 4 songs, like, you think this might end up being a classic because those features hit hard. I'm like, oh shit, like, yo, what's about to happen? And then, like, it just kind of like it doesn't live up to the hype of those first 3 or 4 songs. But again, it doesn't have to, bro. Like, again, it's a good body of work. By no means did this seem like rushed or, like, you know, below par. Again, it wasn't just, again, similar to Drake, where we said last week, Drake's really just competing against himself. Again, dude, DMX set the bar very fucking high. So if we're comparing DMX to DMX, then yeah, it's not that, but it's still good.
Yep.
And dude, shout out to Jay-Z for he mentioned that episode of The Shop that he won his first Grammy and didn't even show up because DMX wasn't even nominated.
Yep, so you like boycotted it essentially.
Yeah, because DMX had 2 #1 albums that same year, and Jay-Z still won for Hard Knock Life. And Jay-Z like, yeah, I'm not going because my boy wasn't nominated. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, no, that's solid. I mean, it just goes to show you it's really about like what's pop. It's like the more popular song, arguably, or was that an album or just a song?
No, Hard Knock Life Volume 2 was a full body of work.
Okay, so yeah, I feel like,
which actually had DMX on. He had DMX on that Money Cash Hose track.
Oh wow, yeah. So like, I mean, obviously those songs aren't pop, but like more pop versus compared to like what DMX was putting out.
Yeah.
I feel like that panel like just obviously wouldn't understand DMX's whole spiel or whatever.
Yeah, because think about it, this was a time before Jay-Z won that, the majority of the hip hop Grammys went to like Will Smith or something, right? Like they're going from that to like then what became like the late 90s, early 2000s, which was like aggressive hip hop. And then that became pop culture because like if you weren't doing that, you weren't being played on hip hop radio. So
right, for sure.
Well, that was solid, yeah, for sure. Yeah, shout out to him, shout out to his camp. If you haven't checked it out yet, definitely a good 40 to 45 minutes of your time. And I know we wanted to get to one more thing real quick before we dip. I know there's not a lot of information about this, but the people know, I guess, a pretty young producer or rapper, what they're saying thus far, committed suicide over some like girlfriend drama.
Allegedly, I don't know if that information has come out yet, but yeah, Lil Loaded apparently committed suicide, at least according to reports from, I want to say, his manager. And I think he actually accidentally killed his friend during a video shoot or something.
What?
I think he had a gun in the car and like, I don't know, was toting it or just unloaded it accidentally on his friend and killed him. And since it was an accident, I don't believe he served any time or anything, but I wonder if that, was those demons like either pushed him over the edge or were the main reason. But
right,
apparently he posted,
even if it was an accident, you still killed someone, right?
Yeah. And he posted a long cryptic tweet. It was like 2 paragraphs long, basically him like begging for forgiveness from God for falling short and stuff. It was like kind of vague, so it wasn't like he was specifically talking about 1 or 2 things. And yeah, I guess he committed suicide. He was only 20, I want to say.
20 years old.
And it's crazy because he was going to perform at Rolling Loud, LA. And
so he is a rapper. I thought for some reason I thought he was a producer or something.
Yeah, he's a rapper, up and coming. I heard about him a couple times in the past. And yeah, he was on his way up to the top. Obviously created a name for himself. And then when I saw the reports, I couldn't believe it. Even though I'm not familiar with his music, like I knew he was on his way to making it big. And he just ended it.
Yeah, man, I kind of think it goes back to like what we were saying almost with the Osaka thing, or even like things that I know, like shout out to the Breakfast Club for keep pushing this when they have like hip hop execs on the panel. It's like, bro, like mental health should be treated like anything else with your body, bro. Like if you have a bad ankle, you probably shouldn't go on stage to perform. If you have a bad wrist, you probably shouldn't go play basketball that day. Like, bro, like I kind of wish that these, especially younger kids, bro, like had people in their corner that can just like, yo, what's good, bro? Like, are you okay? Like, let's talk this shit out. because again, we don't know what happened, but if it turns out to be suicide, I mean, I don't know, like, I don't know if you agree with this, but I feel like suicide could be prevented by, like, you know, having a conversation, right? I feel like suicide is someone making a permanent decision for maybe a temporary feeling. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that temporary feeling could be talked out, and God willing, hopefully, you're like, yeah, you know what? Like, I'm fucking sad and write this, but I probably shouldn't end my life because of it. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, I kind of wish that these people, like, would invest, you know, when they give these guys a signing bonus and, like, hey, this is how much money to play for your video and money for your outfits. It's almost like, oh, here's this fucking $50K. We need you to go get a fucking mental health coach to make sure if you ever feel, you know, drained by this, because this is draining, you have someone to talk to that's trained on this.
For sure. Yeah, I think it definitely is preventable to a degree. Obviously, I know people have different reasons for wanting to commit suicide. Some it could be a relationship, like a recent breakup. For other people, it could be their whole family died in a fucking plane crash, and you know, maybe that's arguably more difficult to prevent. Who knows? But there definitely has to be that added to the budget somehow, because I mean, every other company has those sorts of resources, and it seems like with rappers, like, they're almost forced to be on the edge and be so close to, like, doing something insane that people then step in, as opposed to preventing it and catching it far earlier on. Like, once these rappers start posting, like, cryptic tweets and shit, like, someone on the team needs to step in and be like, yo, like, are you good to go on this tour? Like,
right.
I know you want to make 20 grand a night or whatever it is, but I also don't want you fucking shooting yourself or whatever. So
yeah, dude, if I work for a decent sized company, and so do you, and dude, we can get telehealth for free. Like, yo, why can't these rappers get to, like, some kind of thing that, you know, takes care of them, bro? Because it just seems like a lot of this shit could be preventable. Again, we don't know the full story about Little Loaded, but this, you know, other shootings, right? Or, you know, where, like, they, like, feel they have to be at a certain place and they can probably just talk it out, like, man, like, you probably shouldn't go there tonight. You know what I mean? Let's talk about this. So, I don't know, man. It just seems that, like, for hip hop acts, it just feels that they're given all this money, kind of like young athletes, right? Like, they always say those stories about athletes who go broke before the age of 30. Like, how, like, you have all these millions, how can you go broke? It's like, bro, no one's giving them advice on how to do any of this shit. You know what I mean? It's just like, I think the average millionaire becomes a millionaire by the age of 40, 42. These motherfuckers are 17 with 3 million followers and making $1 million a month. Like, they don't know what the fuck to do. So I just wish that, like, that became a priority. And again, kudos to, like, people like us, Charlamagne, who obviously has a quadruple size platform than we do. You know, like, shedding light on this, bro, because this has to be something that's addressed. Because otherwise, if they're not killing each other, they're going to be killing themselves.
For sure.
That's the sad part.
Yeah. And I think Chasey said that in the Shop episode, something along the lines of or maybe it was LeBron, but one of them said there's no, like, rule book or guideline. Yeah, no blueprint, no pun intended, for how you should kind of maintain yourself once you've achieved your dreams. Like, everyone who achieves their dreams is happy when that happens, but then how do you keep it, and how do you prevent yourself from going crazy and dealing with the pressure and all that stuff?
Yeah.
So it sucks that some
Which
people
we always
just
not
can't.
the we, but the universal we is like, dude, I think I even thought this when I was younger. Like, dude, you're making millions. Shut the fuck up. Figure it out, kind of a thing. And it's like, as we get older, we just realize, like, yo, that shit probably just heightened that much more, and it feels that much more, like, overwhelming on your shoulders to have that constant fucking negativity or pressure. That's when people need a break the most, you know? Like,
and then sometimes people, like, will make you feel like you don't deserve it, or make you feel guilty for not, like, sharing the wealth, quote unquote, and, you know, sticking your head out every day for them. And I'm sure that fucks with people, because you're like, damn, am I a horrible person? Like, why do I deserve these millions? This person over here is chasing their dreams too. And I'm sure all of that those demons can fuck with you and make you want to, like, give it all up, whether that means suicide or just not doing the thing that you love.
100%, dude. I remember, like, I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Flagrant Podcast, shout out to them, or someone else. But it was like, Like, dude, everyone in the crew, I think it was Schultz. Like, he's like, everyone in the crew serves a purpose, bro. You know what I mean? Like, this guy does that, this guy does that. Like, I'm not just gonna have you as my weed guy and pay you 6 figures a year. Like, what value do you bring to me, right? So,
right.
You know, hopefully a lot enough but there are people who don't think that way, right? Like, I'm sure there's plenty of millionaire athletes or millionaires, you know, artists who just have like 15, 20 people in their crew who maybe don't even add any value, but they're like, bro, like, I have to take care of them. Like, that was my boy from like the beginning. So like, I have to cut him off with a check every time I get a bag. I'm like, bro, like, you're cutting off your own hand to give him a hand. Like, at some point, like, you're not gonna be able to sustain this shit. And then you're gonna go broke 15 years earlier because you're just doing this for everyone. So yeah, man, these people like really need like advice, bro, because they just get all this wealth so early. And like, dude, why should they know what the fuck to do with it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And it must be even more tough than like, at least if you win the lottery or something, you can be low key and like fucking disappear to China or something. But when you're in the public space every day and people are posting your net worth online and seeing how much you make a show and you're promoting your new car on Instagram and shit, like there's probably, you know, 5th, 6th removed cousins and shit hitting you up begging for like $1,000 or whatever it is, and you're just like, damn, man, like I can't trust anybody anymore.
I can't trust anybody anymore, bro. Like, bro, we all have those friends that like hit you up out of nowhere. You're like, yo, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, like, what the fuck do you want, bro? They just get to it, bro. Let me know how I gotta tell you yes or no. So like, if you imagine that times a gazillion for someone who's like LeBron or literally Jay-Z, who's worth upwards of $1 billion. Like, you must be having cousins come out of Marcy projects like every year. It's like, bro, I left that shit 30 years ago. Like, how are you still there? Like,
right. Oh man.
But yeah, man. So yeah, again, hopefully we find out exactly what happened to Lil Loaded. Salute to his family. May you rest in peace. But hopefully this is a lesson for like more execs that sign these young acts. Like, man, like, get them the full circle of support they need, and not just like, you know, here's a bag and figure it out. Because it kind of goes to our episode last week about industry plants. Like, maybe the execs just think like, I'll find someone else. Like, I don't give a fuck. But again, I feel like if you want to be a label that people fuck with, like, you have to offer these full services. Because I mean, these guys, I think they may be replaceable as commodities, but they're not replaceable to their families as like human beings.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Yep. Yeah, rest in peace, Lil Loaded.
Yes, sir. All right, man, let's get into some music. Heat of the Week, episode 75. Damn, 75 in. That's amazing. We definitely need to come out with the merch in fucking June or July, because I need to stop wearing similar shit all the time. So like, I definitely need some like new shirts for the fucking podcast, bro.
Right, for sure. Yeah, we'll get on that.
We need to get on that, yeah, for sure. We'll make that June priority. But yeah, dude, what song or album stuck out to you that you were playing that a few times over the long weekend?
Yeah, so I actually shared this music video with you when I said Koreans are taking over. This artist, his name is B.I. I had actually never heard of him until my fiance sent this track over. So he has a song with an artist called Destiny Rogers and Tyler Yahweh, and the song is called Got It Like That. Has a really nice bop to it. It kind of sounds like that Chris Brown, Jack Harlow song, Best Friends.
Okay.
Just in terms of the vibe, like a real good party track. Destiny Rogers is probably the highlight of the song. She has a very, very, very clear, like angelic kind of Gina Aiko type of voice. And yeah, I played the song like 100 times.
Nice.
So I need to stop because I'm going to start hating it. But it was nice for my girl to finally share music with me and introduce me to something new for once.
And then are you surprised that it was a Korean song?
Not surprised. Oh, no, not so the weird thing is it's his song, but Destiny Rogers, the girl in the song, she does the hook. She has her own verse, so it sounds like her song. So that's why I was surprised. I'm like, how do you know about her? But I guess she saw the artist. He had a music video or something, and she sent it to me.
Got it.
So yeah, that's my hit of the week.
All right, just add that. And then for me is a song I sent you early Friday morning while I was getting a workout. I guess after watching The Shop, this is probably like the first actual song that Bad Bunny released post WrestleMania. The song is called 100 Millones, so 100 million is a translation. Dude, fire, dog. Like I played that song, dude, at least 40 times in a row at the gym. I was like, nah, let's keep running this shit back. Like, bro, fire. I love, these, dude, I don't know where these fucking trap beats are coming from for like Latin music right now, but they are fucking phenomenal, bro. So 100 Millones, 100 million by Bad Bunny. Check that shit out. If you weren't a fan before, this might be the song that takes you over the fence because this shit slaps.
Nice.
And just so you know the context of the song, he's talking to his haters. And he's like, the reason why I get famous is to make you guys feel even fucking worse. So like, this shit is like him like sticking his chest out like, fuck everyone who doesn't fuck with me. Like it is fucking fire. Like, it's like really good. Yeah. So
nice.
Check that out. It's already added to the Apple playlist. We'll get that out on a story over the next couple of days. But yeah, man, some good heat, some good content this week. Short week at work, so can't get mad about that. Let the people know where they can catch us and what we got going on.
Yes, sir. You can catch us at audio-theory.com. We're on all major streaming platforms. We also have a Spotify as well as Apple Music playlist, which you can find on the website as well. We update it every week with the Heat of the Week selections. We also release a new episode every single week. So make sure you tune in. Upcoming stuff, we are going to be working on our next round of interviews. So just need to come up with our selections and find out who's down with that, as well as our merch, which will hopefully get out sometime this summer. But otherwise, make sure you like, comment, share, donate, do everything you can to help support the channel.
Yes, sir. Cash App, Venmo, blockchain, wherever the fuck you need to hit us up with some money. We take
we'll definitely take crypto.
We take Doge, we take Bitcoin. If you want to give us some AMC stock, let us know. But my dude, always a pleasure. Great seeing you. Glad the weekend was good. And I will see you next week, bro. Peace.
Yes, sir. Peace.
Love you, man.
Love you too.